city, cradled by giants. Before the city wakes, before the metro hums beneath the streets, before cafe doors swing open to the morning air, the Andes are already watching. They rise like a wall of stone and snow behind Santiago, ancient, silent, immovable. At dawn, their peaks blush pink beneath the first light of the sun. The air is cool, thin, crisp, and below them, a city stretches wide across the valley. This is Santiago, capital of Chile, a city of contrasts, a city suspended between extremes. To the west, the Pacific Ocean; to the east, some of the highest mountains in the world; to the north, the driest desert on earth; to the south, glaciers and Patagonia's wild frontier. Santiago lives in the middle of it all. Often called the gateway to the Andes, it is a place shaped by geography and by resilience. Here, earthquakes shake the ground. History shakes the people. But Santiago stands, modern, vibrant, determined. A city where colonial balconies overlook glass skyscrapers, where street art speaks louder than monuments, where wine flows as freely as conversation. This is not just Chile's capital, it is its pulse. Where a river met a dream. Santiago began with a river. In 1541, Pedro de Valdivia stood beside the Mapocho River and saw opportunity. Fertile land, strategic protection from the Andes. A place to build a new colonial capital for Spain's growing empire in South America. And named it Santiago del Nuevo Extremo. But the land was not empty. The Pichinchi people had lived here long before. Their presence, their resistance, shaped the city's earliest struggles. Just months after its founding, indigenous forces destroyed much of the settlement. Santiago was rebuilt. And rebuilt again. Over centuries, it grew slowly, a colonial outpost of adobe houses, churches, and dusty plazas. Then came revolution. In 1810, Chile began its fight for independence from Spain. The city's central plaza became the stage for declarations of freedom. By 1818, Chile stood independent. Santiago became the heart of a young nation. But history was not done shaping it. The 20th century brought political turbulence, industrial growth, social reform, and in 1973, a military coup that shook the nation. The presidential palace La Moneda was bombed from the sky. The scars remain. Today, Santiago carries its history openly. Museums remember, murals speak, conversations continue. The past here is not forgotten, it is understood. The rhythm of daily life. Morning in Santiago begins with movement. The metro, clean, efficient, fills with commuters. Suits and sneakers, backpacks and briefcases. Spanish flows through the air, fast and musical, with Chile's distinctive rhythm. Words shortened, syllables softened. Hola, como es? Street vendors set up stands of fresh fruit, oranges, avocados, cherries bursting with color. Coffee shops open their doors, the aroma of espresso mixing with the scent of warm bread. Santiaguinos move with quiet purpose. There is pride here, but also warmth. Friends greet each other with a kiss on the cheek. Families gather every Sunday for long lunches. Conversations stretch late into the night. Chileans value resilience, community education. Debate during national celebrations especially. Fiestas Patrias. In September, the city transforms. Flags wave from balconies. Cuica music fills the air. Couples dance in traditional dress. Women in flowing skirts. Men in waso hats. Grills smoke with sizzling meat. Laughter echoes through parks. Santiago celebrates loudly, but it also reflects deeply. You can feel it in the poetry. Pablo Neruda's legacy lives in bookstores and classrooms. You can see it in the murals of Barrio Bellavista. Bold colors telling stories of justice, memory, hope, layers of time. At the heart of the city lies Plaza de Armas. Palm trees sway gently beside the Metropolitan Cathedral. Street performers entertain children. Painters capture portraits in minutes. This plaza has seen it all. Colonization, revolution, protest, celebration. Just blocks away stands La Moneda Palace. White, elegant, powerful. Visitors pause here not only to admire architecture, but to remember history. Climb Santa Lucia Hill where the city was first founded. Stone staircases wind upward to fountains and gardens. From the top, Santiago unfolds in every direction. Skyscrapers in Los Condes, colorful homes in older districts, the Andes looming beyond. Then there is San Cristóbal Hill. A cable car glides above the city, carrying visitors toward a towering statue of the Virgin Mary. At sunset, the sky turns orange, then violet. The mountains glow. Santiago breathes in that light. Modern architecture rises boldly in districts like Providencia and Las Condes. Gran Torre Santiago, the tallest building in South America, pierces the skyline. Glass and steel reflect snow-capped peaks. And just a short drive away lies Valparaiso, a UNESCO World Heritage City of steep hills and painted houses. Though not within Santiago itself, its creative spirit deeply influences the capital. Art is everywhere. In museums, on walls, in conversation. The engine of Chile. Santiago drives Chile's economy. Finance, technology, mining headquarters, international trade. Chile is the world's largest producer of copper, and Santiago manages much of that wealth. In districts like El Golf, business towers gleam. Startups gather in co-working spaces. Innovation hubs buzz with young entrepreneurs building apps, green energy projects, and fintech solutions. Yet, even in this modern pulse, tradition remains. Local markets like La Vega Central overflow with farmers selling produce brought from the countryside. Old and new coexist, and Santiago balances them carefully. Nature, the city beneath the Andes. Geography defines Santiago's character. The Andes are not distant scenery, they are presence. In winter, snow dusts their peaks. Ski resorts sit less than an hour away. You can sip coffee in the city and ski by afternoon. The Mapocho River runs through Santiago's center, once neglected, now revitalized with parks and cycling paths. The Mediterranean climate brings hot, dry summers and mild winters. In summer, the sun shines relentlessly. Cafes open umbrellas. Ice cream shops stay busy. In autumn, trees in parks like Quinta Normal turn golden. Locals love the outdoors. They hike, bike, picnic, escape to nearby Cajon del Maipo Canyon for turquoise waters and dramatic cliffs. Nature is not separate from Santiago. It frames it, protects it, challenges it. A feast of Chilean flavor. To taste Santiago is to understand it. Begin with empanadas, golden pastry stuffed with beef, olives, onions, and hard-boiled egg. The crust flakes in your hands, the filling steams. Then pastel de choclo, a sweet corn casserole layered with meat and chicken, baked until caramelized on top. At Mercado Centro, seafood reigns. Chile's coastline is long, impossibly long. Santiago enjoys its bounty. Fresh ceviche grilled congrio eel, famously praised by Naratha himself. Bowls of moroscal brimming with shellfish and citrus. And then there is wine. Chile's vineyards stretch between mountains and ocean, producing some of the world's finest reds, Carmenere, Cabernet Sauvignon. Smooth, bold evenings in Santiago often end with a glass raised in quiet toast. Salad, a perfect day in Santiago. Imagine waking as sunlight spills over the Andes. You begin with breakfast at a small cafe in Providencia. A cortadoen, a marraqueta roll, crisp and warm. Ski wander to Plaza de Armas. Watch the city stir. Climb Santa Lucia Hill for morning views. At midday, explore the Museum of Memory and Human Rights, a powerful tribute to Chile's resilience. Lunch at La Vega, fresh seafood, laughter, noise. In the afternoon, take the cable car up San Cristóbal Hill. Feel the breeze as the city spreads below. As evening falls, head to Barrio Bellavista. Street art glows beneath lantern light. Music spills from bars. Dinner with friends, a shared bottle of wine, and later, standing outside, you glance east. The mountains remain, watching. Secrets and surprises. Santiago is one of the few capital cities in the world where you can ski and surf on the same day. It is one of the most seismically active cities on Earth, yet its buildings are engineered with extraordinary resilience. Beneath its streets lie hidden tunnels from colonial times. And locals sometimes say the Andes protect the city like silent guardians. There's even an old legend that the mountains hum during winter winds, whispering ancient stories across the valley. Whether myth or imagination, in Santiago, it feels possible. Reflections, a city that endures. Santiago is not flashy like Rio, not romantic like Paris, not chaotic like New York. It is something else. It is steady, strong, a city that has felt the earth tremble beneath it, politically, physically, and still stands tall. Its skyline grows, its people debate, its artists paint, its mountains remain. As night falls, lights flicker across the valley floor. Cars trace glowing lines along highways. Music hums in distant apartments. And above it all, the Andes hold their silent vigil. Santiago is a place of balance between past and future, between ocean and mountain, between memory and hope. And when you leave, you carry that balance with you. Because Santiago does not demand your attention. It earns it, slowly, quietly, completely. Santiago, Chile. A city between fire and ice, alive, resilient, unforgettable.